Hello everyone, welcome to your day 11 of the 14-day job search campaign. How was your day 10 experience crafting your own elevator pitch? Well, many people were telling me that interviewing is probably the most menacing part of a job search experience. I would say it is difficult, but there are still some secrets to it that can help you make the journey very simple. Before we review these secrets, we want to remind you that even though when you go for an interview, interviewers are assessing your competency, they're also assessing your personality traits. In other words, they want to see if you're a good fit to this workplace as well as this position. A quick recap. Every day, I share one short video clip on one aspect of job searching. You can download the checklist, do your homework for the day, and join us at the LinkedIn group for discussions. Challenge for you for today is to share the most difficult interview questions that you have ever experienced in the LinkedIn group for your peers' feedback. As a human resources person, to date, I have probably interviewed more than 550 people, whether it's over the phone, teleconferencing, or in person. I have also switched jobs myself a few times before I started my own consulting business. At that time, I probably have gone through 63 interviews altogether. Some interviews went really well, and I knew I would love to be a part of those organizations. Some interviews didn't go so great, and I learned a ton from those experiences. I have also administered different types of interviews. It could be technical tests over computer or hands-on, simulations, case studies, research, as well as presentations. But as an interviewer, I have also summarized some patterns to the traditional or more common interviews, which means that you are being interviewed by an interviewer or a panel of interviewers. They ask you some pre-crafted interview questions. They take notes as you answer. You probably are asking, well, interviews are just short, half an hour, 1 hour. Sometimes the company are nice enough to even give you a short tour, so an hour and a half. How can they learn so much about you in just that short period of time? Well, a lot of times it's really about that first impression. During day 10's video, we talked a lot about first impression. And also as an interviewer, we assessed interviewees' communication skills, interpersonal skills, organizational skills, the logic, as well as the passion. Are you really interested in this job, in this company? Can you be a good fit? Do you have the right attitude and willingness to roll up your sleeves, to adapt to changes, to learn different systems? At the end of the day, when we are evaluating candidates, based on my experience, many candidates can do the job. Then it comes down to the decision of who will do a better job, who will last longer at this company, and who, if we hire, are going to make this team, this company, a better place to work for everyone else. On the screen, you see I share some tips here for you to verify if you've done the right things to prepare for your interview. If you download the checklist at the website, you also see there is a lot more information covered there. But during day 2's video, we covered your job search priorities. In other words, what are your workplace values? When you identify your workplace values, then you want to see before you go for an interview, if this company, if this job is a good match to who you are, as well as they offer what you are looking for. During day 4's video, we talked about researching the employer. So before you go for any interview, you definitely want to check out the industry, the competition, this company you're going for, what's their history, the reporting structure, what's their strategic objectives, what are they in business for, their challenges, current projects, exciting awards, competitions, market, etc., and etc. And also you want to make sure that the interview panels are being checked out. And during day 4, again, we talk a lot about what you can do to check the interview panelists. Spend the time to research or ask around with people who are in this company or who have been in this industry about the typical interview procedures and interview questions that you can expect. Then you can draft up your own answers to fit for these expectations. Based on my experience, there are 3 typical types of interview questions. Open-ended are the ones such as, can you tell us about yourself? What attracted you to our company? Why did you leave your last 2 employers? What's your salary expectation? When can you start? Those type of questions. The question may be short, they're expecting a bit longer answers from you. Behavioral question, the second type of typical interview questions. Can you describe a time that you solved a conflict in the workplace? Or if you're applying for a sales or customer service facing position, a typical question could be, tell us about a time that you handled an angry customer successfully. See, these questions, the interviewers are trying to get an understanding of your past experiences, how you have dealt with this situation, and they want to see if you can deal with similar situations in the future. By hearing these kind of questions, you can expect that you are going to experience those similar situations once you sign up for the job. By answering these behavioral questions, you want to make sure your answers is solid, is comprehensive. That's the #1 mistake I see interviewees make, is the answers are too short. You want to give a fulsome story about the context, how it happened, who were involved, when it happened, and what was the problem. Then you want to talk about the actions that you took and also the results, especially the great results that you have achieved. The third typical type of questions are situational or hypothetical, in other words. What would you do if you see a coworker conducting unethical behavior? Or how would you handle a situation when 2 managers are asking you to complete multiple tasks at the same time? You may or may not have experienced those situations in the past. The interviewers want to see your logic, your ability to think and communicate right there on the spot. And also, if you can solve the problem effectively. When you are answering interview questions, make sure that you can think from an employer's perspective. As an interviewer, my worst nightmare is to have 6 to 7 interviews back-to-back in the same day. It's very tiring. As we're interviewing one person, we're doing multiple things at the same time. We are showing our best behavior by acknowledging your answers, smiling, because we're representing the company. And we're taking notes, we're listening, we're also thinking, is this the right answer? If not, what can we do to probe to the right answer, to get the right answer? So you want to make sure that your answer is comprehensive so we can slack just a little bit. And also that you want to practice lots before you go for an interview. As I mentioned, I have interviewed many people and I have been interviewed many times myself. But if I have not been into an interview situation for over a year, it'll probably take me a good 3 weeks to prepare for a solid interview. When I say 3 weeks, that means about 2 hours per day times 5 to 6 days per week. So do the math. It's actually not a simple process. It takes a lot of effort and time to prepare for it. It'll be a good idea if you find a person that you can do a mock interview with and hear your answers, give you some feedback. I've often suggested for clients to tape themselves with a camera or just with a phone to hear about their voice, watch their body language, and hear the content if it makes sense. At the end, you also want to make sure that you have 2 or 3 questions at least to ask the interviewers. You prepare more questions, but you may only have the time to ask just 2 or 3 questions. You also want to dress appropriately for the occasion. And do not chew gums, do not put your feet on the table. I mean, these are typical common sense, but you'd be surprised with how many non-common sense behaviors I have actually seen on the other side of the table. And also that your body language should be attentive, that you're listening, you're showing interest instead of too relaxed. At the same time, you want to bring a clean copy or a few clean copies of your resume, notepad, pen. It's okay to take notes. It shows interest. And probably water is a good idea too. And make sure that if this is the right job for you, you want to follow up after the interview. So now you can download the checklist. As I mentioned, there is a lot more information included in the checklist for you to help you prepare for your interview. And every day, practice at least 3 questions. And now you have a little bit more time while you're working from home. So practice with a person that you trust can give you some feedback. If you want to learn more details about different types of interviews, the processes, what we are looking for as a hiring manager or HR, check out our online training modules for the job seekers. We also have how to follow up covered in those modules. Or talk to us about your job search consultation needs. Last but not least, practice makes it perfect. Have a great day.